Well, thank you all again for being here tonight. We're going to get ready for our comedians. Who's ready to hear from our comedians? All right. However, I asked and I received, people have already been giving me suggestions for next year. The top suggestion is a bouncer, because apparently there's somebody in here who didn't pay for a ticket. And apparently he is the campus pastor, the locations pastor of Granville Impact City Church. So next year, we'll get our bouncers and we'll make sure that this doesn't happen again. My deepest apology for letting Pastor Bob in without a ticket. Unacceptable. I know it's opening night, but it is unacceptable, guys. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, you are going to be hearing from some of the top-notch comedians from right here in Pataskala, Ohio. Pretty much, I'm going to say it's a bold statement, pretty much pro comedians. They have been professionally trained to make you laugh. Many of them, their jobs depend on it. Many of them, they don't get paid by me tonight unless they make everybody laugh. I'm kidding. But you are going to hear from some of our local funny impactors from right here at Pataskala and Granville locations. We're excited about it. But here's what I want to tell everybody. Booing is completely acceptable. If somebody is bombing, boo them off the stage, man. We don't want that in here. We want a funny night, right? I'm kidding. We're going to be respectful to our comedians, and we're so excited to hear from each and every one of them. And so let's sit back. Let's enjoy our food. Let's enjoy fellowship, and let's enjoy lots of laughs. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I want to introduce our first comedian tonight. And I want you to give me a warm welcome for this person. Many of you think she's quiet. Many of you think she's shy. Many of you were like, wow, she's actually up on a stage and she's going to be a comedian. But here's the truth. Here's how you know her. Many of you guys think she's just the wife of Pastor Bob. But many of us know she's the brains behind the whole campus of Granville. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome up, Sarah Nicholson.
All right. I know. I look like I should be teaching geography, not doing stand-up. Some of y'all are thinking she's going to ask us to take out our number 2 pencil and our Scantron sheet. And I haven't even studied. Well, surprise, I was actually voted class clown in high school. That's right. So either I was hilarious or I just fell down a lot. So yeah, school was wild. But school before the internet, that was a different beast. Yeah, that's right. Back then, cheating was an art. You had to be creative. You had to strategize. And you had to have nerves of steel. You'd write it on your hand. You write it all out, and then you just pray and hope that you don't sweat like a pig and smudge the whole Declaration of Independence. Or maybe you were the one who wrote it on the bottom of your shoe, and then you just walked around looking like an idiot. Now, cheating's gone digital. Hey, Google, write me an essay on the Civil War. Now, James, I know you didn't write this. Too many big words and no mention of Minecraft. All right, Mrs. P, I'll do it over. Hey, Google, write me an essay on the Civil War, but make me sound like I'm 9 and I eat glue. All right, let's talk about the original social media, passing notes. This was pre-texting, people. I'm talking about analog gossip before emojis were even a thing. No encryption, no delete button, no unsend, just raw emotional chaos, folded up like a little origami swan, sent off like a secret agent on a mission. You'd be like, hey, pass this to Jessica. But seriously, Don't let anybody else read it. Cut to it's 5 desks deep. It's been opened twice. Someone's added, P.S. I know what you did last summer. A doodle of a cat. And now there's a tally for who smells the weirdest. And the topics, I love them. Topics, always the classics. Mr. Thompson smells like cough drops and regret. Why does Brian chew like a goat eating Legos? And my favorite, do you like me? Yes or no? Circle one. And always, you wrote in maybe. And when the teacher caught the note, oh, it was on. Well, if it's important enough to write down, it's important enough to read out loud. And that's, my friend, how introverts become public speakers. Trauma builds character. And don't get me started on gym class. Gym class was basically public humiliation in sneakers. There's always that one teacher who's screaming, "Run faster" at you. And somehow, no one thought to call child services. Today, hey, do you guys remember the presidential fitness test? You guys remember that? Today, you'll run a mile, you're gonna do 50 sit-ups, and you're gonna clasp onto this metal bar like the grade depends on your upper body strength, because it did. Meanwhile, there's always this girl, Mindy Ross, over there on the side doing backflips, while I'm over here just struggling to touch my toes without dislocating my hip. Promposals. Promposals these days are insane, right? I think prom's going on tonight. Back in my day, a guy would just awkwardly mumble, "Hey, you want to go to prom?" in the hallway while not making any eye contact, and that was it. Now, dude comes in on a horse, dressed in a tux, with a drone that writes her name in the sky. What if she says no? What are you gonna do, ride off into the sunset and enroll in online school? So yeah, I might look like I should be handing out homework, but deep down, I'm still that 5th grade girl, passing notes, dodging gym class, and hoping nobody reads my secrets out loud. I made it through promposals, I made it through pop quizzes, and writing my own essays before Google. And now, I still pass notes. They start with, "Dear therapist." All right, thank you guys. Hey, make sure you tip your waiters. Seriously, this is a fundraiser. Tip your waiters.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Man, as I was listening to some of those jokes, I felt lost because I was homeschooled. I'm like, what does any of that mean? The only girl in my class was my sister. I couldn't slide her a prom note. What is that? That would have been weird. But I'm assuming that was all really funny if you went to a real school and not sat at home and started doing school at 12 in the afternoon. That was my life as a homeschooler. So thank you so much, Sarah. Come on, give me another one for Sarah one more time, guys. You know, there is something about comedy and something about laughter that just simply makes the soul happier. Would you agree? I feel like in our world today, you turn on the news and you turn on social media, there are so much things that just make you sad, that makes it hard to laugh, that makes it hard to find joy sometimes if you just focus on those things. That's why tonight, it's so important for us to just come and to laugh, because laughter can heal the soul. Laughter brings joy to each and every one of our lives. It's so much so that people seek after laughter. They want to be in a place where laughter is had. They want to be in a place where something funny is happening, that they can have some story to tell that would make people laugh. People seek this and people crave this. But many people don't know that what they're actually searching for is a job in youth ministry. Because all of that stuff, all of the laughter and all the crazy wild stories can simply all be wrapped up in my job. I'm the youth director here, and I'm here to tell you, if you want to live a life of laughter, if you want to see wild, unhinged things happen, become a youth ministry worker, become a youth leader, because that is where the real world comedy is at. So much so that I wanted to prove it to you guys. There is this Instagram channel, maybe you guys don't know this, it's called Youth Group Chronicles. And what these guys simply do is they collect stories from youth pastors, from youth workers, from youth themselves about some of the wildest and some of the most unhinged stories that happen within the walls of youth ministry. And you may not know this sitting back looking at the youth ministry from afar, but once you're in it, things happen. Things happen that you cannot be explained. Things happen that you're like, I cannot believe that this is taking place. If you want to know the real world of youth ministry, check this video out.
I got kids in the car for group, and one of the kids was, unbeknownst to me, music is up. He's banging on the glass to cars around me. So we park on the side of the road, and we go out to fish. And like, you got to walk like deep in the woods, not too deep, but deep enough that you can't see the road. You can only see the wood line, and my car's out by the road. And there's like 8 of us, no fishing license, like for most of the kids, but most of them are young. So we're like, it's fine. And we just see a cop emerge from the trail in the woods, and we're gathering the rods up, throwing the rods away. Like throwing the rods. We're like, yo, dude, like he's going to get all of us with tickets. He walks up and he's like, whose blue car?
Oh, no.
And I'm like, I guess me. And he's like, well, we have reports on this road of an abduction, of somebody trapped in a blue car that is going down, and the kid's screaming, help me. Mind you, I still didn't know that this was going on in my car. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And then I found out later that it was the kid in my car.
The cop
They
just
were
left?
looking for me. Yeah, he just left.
Imagine if you actually abducted a kid.
We're from a church, we do this every week.
Wow. Yeah, we just kidnap
weekly.
kids.
What are you doing? Fishing? No balls.
That's the real world of youth ministry. And what I've learned working in youth ministry is that youth ministry and youth themselves are completely unpredictable. You never know what's about to happen. You never know what is about to come out of their mouths. Things can happen. Things can go from 0 to 100 within a second. And this is especially true when pranks are involved. If anybody has been involved with youth pranks, I'll just tell you, we're going to summer camp this July. We're excited about it. But there is a reason why no pranks is one of the rules at camp. When it comes to pranks and when it comes to teenagers, nobody is off limits. Not even you as the parents. Check out this video.
We were on a youth group trip when one of the youth leaders came into our room one night and showed us a new app that he has on his phone where you can call someone from any number you want. Well, my friend decided he wanted to call his mom from his dad's phone number using this app.
Oh, no.
Everyone got quiet and waited for this kid to make the call. As his mom answered the phone, she sounded really confused because she saw her husband lying next to her in bed, yet she was receiving a call from his phone number. The kid said in a Darth Vader voice, "I'm in your house," and then quickly hung up the phone. We all started freaking out and told him to call his parents back and tell them it was us. But he refused because he panicked and didn't want to get in trouble.
Wow. Yeah, they both think
Meanwhile, this kid's mom wakes up her husband and asks him where his phone was, to which he responds that it's downstairs. The mom.
No way. I would have been pooping my pants. I'm in your house.
The mom starts panicking and calls the cops to explain what just happened. By now, she and her husband are hiding in the closet of their 5-year-old son's room.
Timmy, come in the closet with us.
After a few minutes, this kid gets a call from his parents asking if it was him that called because the police had a SWAT team en route to their house.
Oh my God.
And of course, in a panic, once again, he says, nope, it wasn't me, and hangs up on him.
Let's go. Little Timmy got a dub, bro.
Yo.
After we were all begging him to tell his parents the truth, he finally called and told his parents the whole story. His mom even had to go outside to meet the SWAT team in front of their house to explain that it was a prank.
Oh.
We have all been a part of a prank gone extremely wrong. Raise your hand if you've been a part of something like that. That always happens at youth camp. And like I said, there's a reason why that is on the rule sheet of what not to do at summer camp. But if I'm being honest, I know I'm picking on the youth, but if I'm being really honest, sometimes, and I'm going to pick on myself, youth pastors, youth directors, youth leaders, we're notorious for having really bad ideas as well. Youth pastors have a rap for always having an idea that seems really good in the moment, but ends up in complete disaster, right? Sometimes we have that stigma on us. I get it. But here's what I want to plead to you guys as the parents today. No matter the ideas that we have, whether they're good or bad, students will always find a way to make it even more of a bad idea. Especially true when it comes to sermon illustrations. Sermon illustrations can be wild, but then all of a sudden you always have that one student stand up and be like, I got an idea. Check this video out.
I had my youth group students start doing trust falls with each other. It was going fine until I had the bright idea of asking if anyone wanted to do a trust fall from a chair. I had a few hands go up, and I had them stand on the chair and had 2 youth catch the person falling. I felt like I was on a roll and remembered we had some picnic tables outside and asked who wants to fall from the picnic table. The ones that fell from the chair had confidence and obviously said yes. After doing this for a bit, I heard one of the students yell, "Let's do it from the top of the church van." What we failed to realize is that because this was summertime in Phoenix, our arms were sweaty. This kid bravely fell off the van back first.
He went down a slip and slide.
But when he hit our arms, we all lost grip, and this poor student smacked off the parking lot.
Why wouldn't you do it on grass? Why?
We all ask that question. Sermon illustrations are always fun, but like I said, you'll always have that one kid that says, hey, let's do it from the top of the church van. Oftentimes, it's the pastor's kid. That's usually who it is. You've heard enough from me. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting ready to introduce our second guest for tonight, and I want you guys to give a warm welcome. He goes by many names. He goes by dad. He goes by husband. He even goes by pastor. However, this is not how you know him. You know him by his famous catchphrase, hot dog. Give it up for Timothy Duggan.
Hot dog. Hot dog. Oh, the boom. I need to move. Move it, move it, move it. All right. Everybody having a good time tonight? Yep. All right. Well, yes, my name is Timothy Duggan. Sometimes I do go by my street name, Tim. And that's where it's going, just so you know. Join in. So, Bill. All right. Yeah. So I just wanted to start off strong, and that was my best joke. But I wanted to start off strong by just coming out. So I sort of took my, just typed in Google, how do you do a stand-up comedy act? And they said, make sure you go out with your best side first. So I want to begin tonight by just starting strong. No, truly, I've been told this is my best side. Smoldering. Right? No, I don't have a best side. I got a lot of sides, but I don't have a best side, right? I just got my own side, and I do the best I can with what I got, right? I'm just who I am. So maybe a lot of sides, but not a lot. No, I'm just going to have fun. First, though, I just want to thank Joel and Macy for doing this. This is awesome. First, it is a bucket list check for me, but thanks for doing this. But truly, Joel, I have to say, as far as fundraisers go, this is the worst ever. I mean, parents, stay with me for a second and realize what's happening right now. Right now, we have our teenagers greeting us with words, walking us to our tables, sitting us down, serving us, cooking for us. They're going to be cleaning up after us and doing dishes. And Joel in his wisdom's like, I'm going to ask them for money to take them away. I've been dreaming for this day for like 16 years to have my kids take care of me. And now I was like, no, just take them. I was like, your timing's horrible, Joel. I don't know where you are. I'm just looking. I'm just pointing. Your timing is terrible. Truly, last week, he could have came to my house like 3 times and just said, hey, Tim, I'm going to take your kid. Could you give me some money? And I would have been like, yes, take them. And I would have been, hey, lover, got some extra money. Joel's taking our kids. And we would have gone with that, right? But nah, he chose that. But hey, let's give a shout out to all the kids, all the teens doing this. This is awesome. I mean, I am just so grateful that they cooked this. But yeah, well, a little bit about myself. I don't know if you know this, but a week and a half ago, I celebrated my 52nd birthday. Yeah, 52nd birthday. Thank you for remembering. It was wonderful. But with that, I've now learned what 52 years means. For me, what it means is I now need to have a plan to get out of my car. No longer is the day where you just park the car and you step out. Now I'm like, okay, 1 foot, 2 foot, go. But it also means is once a month, I get a letter from AARP. Yeah, that wasn't on my bucket list, I'll tell you that. But I get the letter from the AARP, and my kids are brutal. They are brutal. Stuart, at one point, when Lori said, hey, what are you going to get your dad for his birthday? He said a get well soon card. But I got Lucas, who's got a heart of gold. I mean, he really is my kid with a big heart. He keeps it hidden so nobody's seen it. But its heart is huge. And he said, Dad, it's all good. You now get to park closer at the theater in the senior spots. I'm like, that's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, I'm 52. I've got a 16-year-old, which means I began this whole family adventure thing way late in life. And the reason is because I met my wife later in life. I met her when I was 30 years old at work. And it was love at second sight. My first sight of my wife, I couldn't see her because there was like a swarm of male vultures just hovering around, squawking for any attention they could get of her. But when I saw her, I mean, it really was. I was smitten, immediately smitten. I mean, just her smile, just beautiful. Her hair, gorgeous. She had huge brown eyes. I was just lost. So I immediately just was smitten by her and looked for an opportunity. But I don't think it was the same thing for my wife, because we had a mutual friend, and apparently my first impression on my wife was, hey, who's the guy with the nice shoes? So I worked at a social service agency, so we weren't necessarily known for high fashion, but I happened to know some guys who worked for a high-end shoe company, and I had some sweet, sweet shoes. So she was looking at my shoes, and I figured that's an awesome time to ask her out before she looks up. So I went over to her and I said, hey, you want to go out? And she said, yes. It was awkward at that moment because I did not have a plan after that. So I did the best I can to sort of remedy my conversation. And then we went out and we had a great time. And then all of a sudden we went out a couple times and everything was good. And she still looked at my shoes. And I said, if she's going to keep looking at my shoes, I better ask her to marry me. So I said, hey, do you want to marry me? And she said, yes. And I was like, sweet, she still hasn't looked up. So I was like, let's do this quickly. And sure enough, she did. So we got married really quickly, and it was just wonderful. And I remember when she finally did look up, when she said, I do. And in that moment, In that moment, when I knew she was truly trapped, I recognized and praised the awesome God that we serve. So, oh man. And it was wonderful. And it was so wonderful, we decided to bring some kids into the equation. Change the definition of wonderful, but it's still wonderful. And so we ended up having our kids when I was 35 years old. And a lot of people came up to me and said, that is so smart. That's so smart, Tim, to have your kids late in life. Because now you got wisdom. Like wisdom. I've got now wisdom, which apparently is the key for parenting success. I will be honest. Have you met my kids? Wisdom is not necessarily required. Okay? Let me share this story, speaking of how wisdom is not necessarily required. In my great wisdom, I thought it would be an awesome day to go on a cruise with my family. So I was too cheap to fly there, so I figured what we'll do is pack everybody into a car and drive 2 days and get there. So we stayed overnight at a hotel. And I wanted to drive, and I cut the trip halfway so that way we'd be nice and rested. And we get to the hotel and everything's fine. There's 2 beds, two queen beds. My boys got 1 bed. My wife and I and Nala got the other bed. Now, mind you, I was not wise enough to recognize that a queen bed is not big enough for a 4-year-old. Because apparently 4-year-olds sleep like those fidget spinners. And sometime at about 2 a.m, I'm done, I'm bruised, and I say, I'm done, I'm getting out of bed. So I get out of bed, I'm just gonna sleep on the floor. That's the best I got. And I would have, except for the fact that my wife was already sleeping on the floor, so I had to choose the tiny little chair to curl up into. It was awesome. It was a wonderful night's sleep. And then I drive to the dock to get on the boat. Has anybody been on a cruise before? Who's my cruisers? Yeah. So if you haven't been on a cruise, here is a warning, okay? When you get to the dock and that door kicks open, you still got like 17 hours of velvet rope maze to get through. So sure enough, you're walking through this maze, doing everything in your power not to kill your kids. And you're just saying, quit it, pick that up, stop doing that, don't touch your brother, come on, hurry. And you do this until you finally get up to the counter. You think you've arrived. And that lady has now been serving people for the past 5 hours herself. So she's got the patience of just nothing. So you walk up there and she's like, license and ticket. And at that moment, I mean, we had a moment because I'm like, I don't like you. You don't like me. It was like a sweet moment of disdain. We're sitting there just staring at each other going, yeah, I can't wait till I don't see you anymore. But at that counter, while I'm sitting there, it is like a 40-yard counter. Just goes the whole way. In front of that counter is one of those like brass banker bars. So we walk up there, and for the past 4.5 hours, every single person that walked up there touched that. Every single kid that picked the places you're not supposed to pick in public went up there and decided to like paint it with every bubonic plague possible. So I'm up there having the moment with that lady. And I look over, and there is my child, my oldest child, going like this. Bah. No lie, licking up and down the pole. In the history of the world, there isn't a parent who needs wisdom to know that's stupid. I didn't need wisdom. What I could have used was a third arm and an extra eye to catch that, right? That would have been awesome. But I didn't have that. So we celebrate all this wisdom. But if wisdom was the essential piece, then children would come with instruction manuals so you can learn. I've had 3. They don't come with instruction manuals. Kids come with a bill, a hat that you stick into a book, never to be seen again, and a slap bracelet that says, please take this one, we don't want them. That's what you get. So with that, we left, and we left the hospital. That's why I still have 3 kids. Derailed myself. So with that, Forgot my next joke. It was a good one, so we'll just skip to the other one, which isn't as good. But, so with the instruction manual, that's where I was. That there's this instruction manual that we don't get, but there is one that does exist. I know there's an instruction manual for kids because if your kid ever does something in public that the world does not, that may frown upon, for example, if your middle child, say, bites random kids in the park, just as an example, if your kid does that, every parent nearby will immediately have that instruction manual downloaded into them so they can tell you how you have failed as a parent. It's a pretty convenient system. I wish it was earlier, but it's not. So that's the instruction manual. But wisdom, valuable. An instruction manual, valuable. But if you ask me, the one thing I wish I would have gotten with my kids was a warning label. We put warning labels on shampoo. There's warning labels on cotton balls. Think that through for a second. How in the world can a cotton ball be needing a warning? But they don't have them on children. Why could God not just have gone, right? Put one on your kid so you just know. I'm not saying I take medicine that has warning labels. I still take it. It just is nice to be warned. For example, a warning that says may cause instant and severe regret. I went out one spring morning right after Lucas learned how to ride his bike, and it was awesome. It was just one of those perfect days. Stuart was with me. Lucas just learned how to ride his bike. Stuart's only 2 years older, so we went to the park. It was a perfect spring day. I remember it clear. The birds were chirping, right? The squirrels were having all sorts of fun. The sun was out. I know it sounds like an untrue story, but the sun was out. And we saw that. I mean, not just any sun, a perfect sun. It had a smile and was singing with the birds. That part's not true. But all that, we were just riding through the park, and we walked this park 1,000 times, and the park winds through, and it ends with a little bit of a hill at the end, and then you turn around because you run into the neighborhood. So we got there, rode our bikes, having a grand old time, got to the hill, got up, turned around, and I thought for a second, this hill's a little bigger than I remember. So I've got my 4-year-old here, and I got my 6-year-old here, and I'm like, yeah, it's all good. Shove the first one down. Okay. But my younger one, I was a little bit nervous, so I'm holding him and help him a little bit. And as soon as I let go, I had severe and intense regret just hit me. I didn't know why. I just knew, oh, something's wrong. And sure enough, Stuart's picking up speed and he's going. I'm like, okay. Lucas is starting to pick up speed. And then all of a sudden, Lucas gets this. Locked up his arms. And then he starts doing this. And then he's like, Dad. And at that point, I'm like, oh, there's the regret. Now I understand it. So I start running. And as I start running after Lucas, I look up. I look up, chasing Lucas. I look up and I see Stuart. And he's going about 75 miles an hour at this time. And I look ahead of him. And for the first time, I recognize that the trail he's on goes straight until it hits the bottom, and then it cuts sharp to the right. And I'm like, there is no chance he's making that. So at this point, I'm going, I need to just save one. I can't go home with none. So I'm like, Lucas is first, and I'm running after him, and I'm getting just about ready to grab him, and he's just starting to panic, and you can see it, and his head swivels completely around. He goes, yeah, I'm killing you tonight, right? And he's just going, and I literally was just about ready to grab it. He panics, turns the handlebars, flips completely over. And as he's spinning over, he goes, yes, tonight's the night, and hits the ground hard. And he is down and he is crying, and I run right by him because I still need to save one. So I am like trying to get to Stuart, and sure enough, he hit the grass. He ended and he turned and he did that exact same flip, and he hit the ground hard. So I got 2 kids screaming. Severe and instantaneous regret, right? Or a warning label that says something like, may cause tension financially and relationally. Still probably would have had kids, but it would have been nice to be warned. So as my kids were screaming, I call them back. And as a dad, I comfort them the best I can. And I'm like, just get up. Quit your crying. I'll give you something to cry about. Come on. I'm not carrying your bike. It's got to be ridden out. Very soft dad talk. And they responded well to it, so they kept crying. And I looked at them and I said, hey, if you don't tell your mother, I'll buy you ice cream. Financial and relational tension. Right? Or I don't know, may cause baldness. Still would have had my kids. Would have been nice to know. So what do? Right? Wisdom isn't necessarily the key to great success with our kids, right? There is no manual, there is no warning label, so we try to recruit help. And that's why we send them off to camp, right? Because we're thinking there is like a whole bunch of extra arms, a whole bunch of extra eyes, and they'll be able to watch them and take care of them. So that's where send them to all those army of eyes and hands. And we send them out over there. But stop and think about that for a second. We're not talking peak age for wisdom for a lot of these counselors, okay? Okay? Just get that. And then we decide we're going to feed them poorly, stick into a room with smelly kids for an entire week and tell them you don't sleep that much, now watch my kids. That's our system. So they do the best they can. But I know this is true because I used to be a counselor at a youth camp. And at this youth camp, we did what typical youth camp is. We have our competitions, different competitions. And we decided this year to do a disc throwing competition. And it was pretty cool. Everything was fine. It was basically the Olympics, and now we're at the disc competition. And we wanted to see how far the discs flew, not how far they rolled. So we put all the counselors out in the field, affectionately called targets from here on out. So they're out in the field, lined up. There's 10 of us because there's 10 different teams. And there's 10 different teams ready to throw. It's important to know that this camp took place right after MP3s were brought into the world. So instead of using something like a Frisbee, we all had an incredible amount of CDs that we thought was a good idea. So we lined up 10 kids to throw CDs at a whole bunch of counselors out in the field. And they get up there and us, the counselors, like, oh, it's a good idea, this is a good idea. And they throw them. I don't know if you've ever thrown a CD before. I don't know if you've ever seen a CD thrown. No one has. You can't see it. It is just circular death shooting through the air, and you really can't see it. If you're lucky, it'll turn slightly and the sun will just blind you and go. But they don't go straight. They're like, shoo, shoo. So there we are, a whole bunch of counselors sitting in the field, and we see all these kids just chuck. And at that moment, we're like, oh, crap. Can't see a thing. And we're just waiting for it. And then all of a sudden you hear, ah, right? And we start screaming, counselor down, right? So we're all dropping, and we're army crawling. We won't leave you behind. Come with us. And we're trying to get to the backside of the hill. But it's a youth camp. So you figure all those teenagers got hearts of gold filled with Jesus. They don't. They're sitting there thinking, we've got them on the run. Let's call in reinforcements. So we're trying to crawl to the hill, and the extra kids are lining up and chucking CDs out into the field as we're trying to work our way to the backside of this hill. So what is the key to parenting, right? Wisdom's valuable, knowledge is valuable, extra eyes and community is valuable. But if I've learned anything, it's this. I am so grateful that I've got a God on my side that has eyes and a heart for my own kids, that is all-knowing, all-powerful, and capable of taking care of my kids and managing that. And if I could ask for one thing, I would release wisdom and have more of God. I would release knowledge and have more of God. So as your kids go off to camp, as they head out of your doors and you close the door behind them, just recognize that is a perfect time to change the locks and run. Thank you. God bless everybody. Have a good night.
Oh, I laugh at those camp stories because I know they're true, because I've been in similar situations time and time again. You know, many of you guys know the camp that we go to in the summer, I actually grew up there as a camper. And being there, the church I was connected with at that time is the one who is actually leading the camp pretty much as a whole. It's mainly a team effort, but they're really the one who takes the charge. And in that church, I met several people who were there when the camp originally started. And they told me some stories of some things that went down at camp back in the day. And I wish I could tell you those stories, but I do not want to give any of my students those same ideas, because students that came with me, one of them may have been the son of the guy you just heard. They got the bright idea to bring clippers to camp without me knowing about it. And what happened was not my fault. Yes, I'm the one responsible, but there's like 500 kids that I'm looking after. And no matter what you think, I don't know if I should be telling you this, but the leaders are massively outnumbered at camp. There are far more kids than leaders at that camp. So it's very hard for me to make sure everybody is behaving. And I thought I was doing a really good job in this moment. I was like, I'm killing it. Until there was a group of boys led by Stuart Duggan come up to me with bald heads. And I was like, hey guys. And they were like, so we did a thing? And I was like, yeah. I was like, are you happy with your decision? Well, kind of, but the clippers died midway through Jacob Skaggs' haircut. And then they revealed Jacob Skaggs to me, who only has one bald strip in the middle of his head. And they were like, can you go buy us a new pair of clippers? And I was like, no, no, this is hilarious. Absolutely not. But luckily, by the grace and mercy of our pastor, Justin, he went out and bought them clippers. But man, as many of you guys know, camp is coming up for us, and we're excited, man. Camp is a time where God really moves in the hearts and lives of our youth students. And it is so amazing to sit back every year and watch how God works in each and every one of their lives. For them, it is absolutely one of the best times of the year. For them. For me, it's one of the most stressful moments of the year. Camp is great, don't get me wrong, but I'm usually very stressed. And you're like, obviously, you take a bunch of students 2 hours away to go on rope swings and rock climbing walls and zip lines. That can be very, very stressful, and absolutely. But one of the most stressful parts that many people really wouldn't even think about until you're in the situation that I'm in is our camp has a no cell phones policy. So what that means is right before we get to the campgrounds, me and some leaders have to go through and take all of these students' cell phones, earbuds, and all this stuff. And it's great for the camp because they get, no distractions. They get to focus on God. But it's nerve-wracking for me because I'm handed thousands of dollars of electronics that I am now responsible for throughout the entire week. And you're like, what's the big deal? I have a crippling fear of something like this happening. Check this out. Maybe.
We have a no cell phone policy at camp. So when we arrived, I made my way around the campus on a golf cart to collect all the phones. After confiscating them all, I stuck them in a nylon bag and then put them on the floorboard of the golf cart and drove off. But while driving away, I turned too hard and the nylon bag flew out of the cart right under the tire. Oh my! Causing me to run over all the phones. But in a panic, I quickly reversed the golf cart. And ran over all the phones a second time.
Oh my gosh, dude.
I can just hear parents yelling at me if something like that happened. I feel so much for that youth pastor. That's wild. Many people don't know this, and I'm going to make a bold statement. Don't get mad at me here, guys. This is all in fun. But if I'm being honest, our job as youth pastors is actually pretty dangerous. Many people wouldn't think that. You're like, you're just a pastor. You just tell them about Jesus. But have you met your kids? They are wild. The craziest crap happens with your kids, and it can be very, very dangerous. But listen, all of the youth leaders, all the youth pastors, I'm speaking on behalf of us, we go to great lengths to entertain your kids, to teach them about God, and to make sure that they have a good relationship with God. We go to extremes that you wouldn't even normally think possible. Some of the things that we have to do and some of the things that we try to do to entertain these kids is impressive. And sometimes they can get very dangerous. You may even say explosive, something kind of like this.
Youth group ended early, and a couple of the guys were wandering around the sanctuary.
Wait,
so
next
they got
video.
the genius idea to take the youth group ended early.
Next.
And a couple of the guys were I ordered a giant beach ball for our youth group, but when it arrived, I didn't realize how difficult it would be to inflate because this thing was 6 feet in diameter. My executive pastor told me just to use an air compressor in the church tool shed. Except I have never used an air compressor, and I was too embarrassed to ask what I should look for. I poked around the shed until I found a tank with air and a hose with a spigot perfect for this beach ball. Assuming this was right, I hooked up the beach ball and inflated it.
Helium.
Beach ball gone. Gone.
It took a lot longer than I thought air compressors were supposed to work, but after 45 minutes, it was finally full. After rolling it into our gym, my executive pastor asked me how I'd gotten it inflated, since they just found the church's only air compressor and it was not in the tool shed. Turns out, the tank I used to fill this ball had not said air compressor, but compressed oxygen.
That man made a bomb. He made a bomb. You bounce that thing one time. That's a holy hand grenade.
I had used highly flammable, pure oxygen gas and basically turned this beach ball into a 6 foot in diameter pipe bomb for the
100%.
kids to kick
100%.
around. The pastor and I carefully rolled it outside and deflated it, but I winced every time a car drove by, thinking the engine might ignite the gases and kill us both.
Bro made the Hindenburg.
Our job can be very dangerous due to our own stupidity, right? You know, being a youth pastor and being a youth director and leader in this day and age is tricky because of social media, right? Social media is tricky for anybody. It adds a whole new element to our world and to our culture today, but it is very complicated when it comes to the youth. Social media in the hands of a youth is dangerous. They can use it for either good or for bad. It's too much of a powerful weapon for our youth to handle sometimes, I think. And sometimes I get very, very scared of what will happen because youth will find whatever possible, and I mean whatever, and do whatever to make somebody laugh and maybe to, just for the fun of it, cause sheer chaos. Play the last video.
Youth group ended early, and a couple of the guys were wandering around the sanctuary. So they got the genius idea to take the large photo of our youth pastor and put it with these flowers and candles and host a, quote, fake funeral. Fast forward to later in the week, our church is receiving phone calls from people giving their condolences and asking what happened to our youth pastor. Come to find out, one of the youth took a picture of the, quote, fake funeral arrangement and posted it on his social media with a Bible verse over top.
Nah, that's
Dang, now I have
crazy.
all the good stuff.
Take you for a 7.
Dang.
That's
That picture would be
About to go by the
violation
face.
too, like as a visual picture.
Kept the face.
It's his visual.
That's crazy.
Dang, you got me. I would have been like, dang.
I would have really thought. I'm like, okay, yeah,
Dang.
praying.
My fear as being a youth minister, it can happen to anybody. It's dangerous. Ladies and gentlemen, are you having a good time tonight? Awesome. If you haven't got your food yet, we apologize again. We're working the best we can. We actually ran out of hot dog buns, so somebody just ran to the dollar store to get some more hot dog buns for you guys. That is the length that we will go to serve you guys. Chick-fil-A has nothing on us, man. We'll drive to the dollar store for you guys. No, ladies and gentlemen, I am so hyped to introduce our last guest of the night. Many of you guys know her, but what you don't know about her is this is not her first time on a stand-up show comedy night. She has done this before. She is the professional. She has many names. She has many jobs. She is the co-pastor of Impact City Church. But even more important than that, ladies and gentlemen, She pastors and leads her family, which is pretty much the size of this church, if I can be honest. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Pastor Mindy Ross.
All right. What's up, guys? Hey, how come everybody else got cool music and I got Ice Cream Man music? What's up with that, Troy? I'll take that. Yeah. What's up with that, Troy? You guys having a good time? How many of you came here tonight because you needed to laugh, right? Let's face it, you didn't need that food. You needed to laugh, right? You needed to laugh. Amen. We need to laugh. That's why stand-up was created. That's why I'm passionate about funny, because we need to laugh. Laughter is medicine because life is hard. Say life is hard. Come on. I agree. My life is just as hard. It's hard being gluten-free. Where are my gluten-free sisters and brothers out there? Solidarity, yes. Love you. It's hard being gluten-free. I hate telling people I'm gluten-free, even though I'm doing it to 75 of you right now. I hate telling people I'm gluten-free because they have one of two responses. They either say, I could never be gluten-free because I just love gluten so much. They talk about it like it's a New Year's resolution and not like it's like when I eat bread, I feel like I swallowed a sparkler. Like they don't understand, I could never because I just love pancakes and cinnamon rolls and potatoes. Okay, well, there's no gluten in potatoes, so. And cupcakes and French fries, there's still no gluten in potatoes. We'll be out to lunch and, order the ask for a gluten-free menu. And inevitably the other person on the other side is like, she's gluten-free, so give me all her gluten. I'm like, why is that okay? Why is it? Do you do that to people with diabetes? She's diabetic. I'll take all of her food, all her sugar, because I just love sugar. I could never be diabetic. Like, do you do that? No. Do you do that to people with high blood pressure? I could never have high blood pressure. I just love to scream so much. Like, one temper tantrum, and there goes my aorta. You don't do that. You can't do that. Why are you doing that to us? Stop it. The other response people have when you say you're gluten-free is they assume you want to talk about your intestines for 45 minutes. And I'm like, what is up with this? I'll have a gluten-free menu, please. Oh, you gluten-free? Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, I thought about going gluten-free because I've been having some symptoms. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I do. Anyway, yeah, like this one time I had a cookie and I just had a little rumbly in my tumbly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know what you're saying. And when it came out, it was like, what color is your... Okay, listen. No, Margaret, not over spaghetti, not right now. We're not talking about our intestines anymore. It's hard. It's hard being gluten-free. It's hard raising teenagers. How many of you raise teenagers? Oh, gosh. Yes, right? Teenagers are hard. Teenagers are thieves. They're all thieves. They steal everything. They steal your snacks out of they steal the gum out of your purse. They steal your time. They steal your money. They steal your peace of mind. They steal your sanity. And they will stop at nothing. They're all thieves. Every one of them that's here right now. And you can't do anything about it. They're going to be thieves. We've tried it all. Justin and I, after 18 years and 7 children, we thought we cracked the code. We're like, we got this down now. We know how to make our kids stop stealing. Everybody has their own thing. Okay, so everybody has their own kind of sock. This is my sock. This is Justin's sock. Everybody has their own socks, right? Everybody has their own hairbrush. Everybody, of course, has their own toothbrush, but we had to go to great lengths to put names on them because there's nothing more terrifying than picking up your toothbrush and it's already wet. And you're like, who? Who was it? Because that's going to determine if it's going back in my mouth. Right? I want to know which one, because if it was Maverick, it definitely wiped his butt with it. It's not going in my mouth, right? We do it. We went to great lengths to keep our kids from stealing things. We even got like the dispensers in the shower so that they don't have to steal shampoo bottles or anything. But they still do it. I was looking for a hairbrush the other day. And in my bathroom, there should be 2, and there was 0. And so I'm like, what? Who took our hairbrushes? I go and I find my daughter, and I was like, did you steal my hairbrush? She's like, yeah. And I was like, but you have your own hairbrush. Yeah. So why did you steal my hairbrush? Because in science class, Maddie's crush was risen on some bop, and her hair was not hairing, and she needed to pull up. Her hair needed some help, so I gave her my hairbrush, and then I took yours. Quit crushing out on me. Okay. I'm like, all right. So then I'm looking for my laptop. Where's my laptop? It should be in my book bag in my car because I'm a weirdo that thinks nobody steals anything. And so I go out there and it looks like somebody's ransacked my book bag. Things everywhere, but no laptop. I'm like, where's my laptop? I go and I find my daughter. I'm like, did you take my laptop? Yeah. Okay, but you have your own iPad. Everybody has their own devices. Yeah, well, mine didn't do what I needed it to do. And by the way, your laptop is a dinosaur. Was it from the 1900s or something? I'm like, listen, if you're gonna be a thief, at least be a grateful one. That laptop is holding your baby picture. Show some respect, you know? And then I'd had enough when I couldn't find my sunglasses. Because you're already frustrated and you can't see the sun's blind. I'm like looking for my sunglasses, I can't find them. And you know what, this is it. I'm having a family meeting, everybody get in here right now. And I went full on rage monster on these kids. I'm like, listen, I buy stuff so I can have stuff when I need my stuff. And you guys are taking my stuff. And it's like, Mom, I'm like, no, do not interrupt me while I'm talking. Whoever took my sunglasses is getting 5 loads of laundry right now. Justin's like, babe. And I'm like, what? Babe, they're on your head. And also take my socks off. My husband's a gadget person. Any of you gadget people? You like gadgets? You think you're James Bond. You think you're so cool with all your gadgets. The new thing comes out. I have to have the new thing. I gotta have, look, you show everybody all of your gadgets all the time. You think you're so cool. And then you're married to, inevitably, the person who still has an AOL email address. And they swear that AI is going to be the death of us all. You know, you got your cool person with their tech, and then you've got the person that's like, you know, if you send them a text, they're gonna call you. Crazy people like that, right? You send them an email, they're writing you a letter and sending it on horseback. Right? You guys are the ones that your phone's been begging you for years, please upgrade me, please. And you're like, no, I won't do it because they're listening and I'm not turning you in. You got cracks all down the front of your screen. You get stitches every time you're trying to text people because you will not turn that thing in. You're also the spouse that most likely your car looks like 2 homeless people and a rabid raccoon live out of it. But you're fun, so we keep you around, all right? So keep being fun or else you're gonna have to get organized. But you guys, we're not gonna leave the techie people alone. Where are the people that have full-on conversations through Bluetooth earbuds? Monsters. Monsters. Monsters you are. Because, you know, I'm going to petition that they put flashing lights anytime you're on a phone call. So the rest of us living normal lives know you're not talking to us. It's just wrong, right? I sat down beside some guy the other day, and he asked a question when I sat down. And so I said, huh? And he was like, I'm sorry, for the last thousands of years, when you sit down by someone and they ask a question, you don't assume that there's some imaginary person they're talking to. So I was like, did you ask me a question? And he was like, now my daughter's cracking up because she knows exactly what's going on, and I was oblivious to it. And so finally I realized, oh, he's on the phone. And so then I felt like I needed to apologize for interrupting him. I was like, I'm sorry I thought you were talking to me. And he was like, and then he just left. He just left. It was so rude. Life's hard when you're awkward like me. Anybody else awkward? Yeah, I'm awkward. Life's hard with toddlers. Anybody got toddlers? Where's my toddler parents out there? May the force be with you. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. My 2-year-old right now, the latest argument we got in was over medicine. and you're trying to give a 2-year-old medicine. They're old enough that they can reject it, and they're young enough they don't understand that they need it, right? And don't try to tell me your hacks, because I've tried them all, right? Don't try, oh, you gotta hold him down and then stick it in their cheek and blow in their face. Done it. He's a velociraptor, okay? It comes straight out in my eyeballs. We've tried the 2-man hold. We've tried everything. So then I got this idea. I know how I'm gonna get him to take his medicine. But do you ever have an idea that sounds so good in your head before you say it out loud? I had this idea. I'm like, okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it in his juice box, right? It's going to go in his apple juice, but he has to drink it fast, because if he doesn't drink it fast, Sammy's going to take it, think it's his, and he's not going to get his medicine. So he's got to take it fast. And so here's what we're going to do. Light bulb. We're going to play a drinking game. Duh. Having no idea how that sounded or how that might look, when my husband walks in the door in the evening and I'm sitting on the floor surrounded in a circle of toddlers going, chug, 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 chug. Justin's like, babe, what's going on? Shh, it's a drinking game. Shh. We get so proud of our kids about everything, don't we? They do the tiniest little thing. Oh my gosh, get out your phone, get out your phone. He's going potty. Get your phone, it's going potty. Get your phone, babe. He says ABCs. Can you hear it? Oh my gosh, get your phone. Get your phone, babe. I don't want to get your phone. No, I'm not getting my phone. He's riding his bike. Hurry, get your phone out before he falls down. I am not getting my phone out. Why not? Because the kid's 17. Oh my gosh, get over it. He's been riding his bike for 10 years. We're so proud of our kids. It's hard to keep your mind right, though. It's hard to keep straight. How many of you just, every now and then, you just need to worship? Like, you just need to get with Jesus. You need to get your Jesus vibes going on. You turn on your music, but your kids are in hyena vibes in the back seat, right? And so you're trying so hard, but they're just not vibing with you. They're not reading the room. And you're like, the stars were made to worship, so will I. Mom, I'm so hungry. I'm starving. We're going to get food when we get home. If the mountains bow in reverence, so will I. Mom, his foot is touching my leg, and I told him not to touch my leg. Stop touching her leg. If the oceans roar your greatness, so will I. Mom is still touching my leg. Mama is about to roar some greatness on your rear end if you don't stop fighting in the back seat. Mama needs some Jesus time, can't you tell? I lose my cool every now and then. Anybody else, you lose your cool? You willing to admit it in church? Yeah. We get in marriage fights. You know, we're married people. Raise your hand if you're married in the room. Okay. You get in fights every now and then? But you get in fights every now and then? Anybody not get in fights with their... Yep. Suspicious. Very suspicious. People say they don't get in fights with their spouse. I don't know what's going on over there. When you're dating... I don't know, if anybody dating here? When you're dating, you have real fights about important stuff. Like, did you kiss her? Like, that's important. You got to work that stuff out. The longer you're married, the dumber your fights become. And so our most recent knockdown, drag out to the death fight was over the difference between soft white and bright white Edison bulbs. Because I had decided on my own that I would like to change the lighting in my kitchen. And I felt justified to be able to do so without consulting with my husband. So I changed them from soft white to bright. I'm gonna brighten this place up. Yeah, I'm gonna brighten this place. I ordered me some Edison bulbs. They were there in a day, switched them out. I didn't switch out the living room. Felt like that could stay soft. We'll keep it bright here in the kitchen. Well, guys, that just burned his buns. That was just the last straw for my husband. Now, mind you, in 23 years that we've been together, never once has he shared with me a passion for luminosity whatever you call it, with lighting. Never once have I gotten a text, babe, we need to talk. Oh, babe, what about what? About soft white light bulbs in our kitchen. Never once has he shared an opinion. Never once has he come up to me in the kitchen like, honey, I've been researching all these different lumens. I want to talk to you about light bulbs. Never once, until I changed the lights. And all of a sudden he cares. And so now at 6 o'clock at night, we're supposed to be having a nice dinner as a family. It's going something like this. I just don't understand why you changed them. I just don't get, like, were they broken? No, they were not broken. I wanted different lighting. I figure I'm the one cooking all the meals. I should get to decide how bright it is in my kitchen. Well, I just all of a sudden like this, and you didn't even switch out the other ones. It looks stupid in here. Why'd you change your mind? Am I not allowed to change my mind once in a while? Once in a while, huh? And World War III is about to break out when witness number 1 walks in the courtroom. My oldest, the son of my womb. The one who I gave gas money to when dad said he should earn his own gas money. This one's got my back. They say you shouldn't fight in front of your kids. I say get them involved. And so, Caden, what do you think? Soft white or bright white? He's like, I don't know, soft white, I guess. I'm like, oh, dagger to the heart. Traitor he was. And Justin had won. The battle was over. I lie on the floor dead. I had lost, Justin had won, but that was not enough for him. He wanted full custody in this light hearing. And so he stood up and he said, and wouldn't you say, Caden, that if one was to change the lighting, that you would want to change all of the bulbs to match each other and not just half of the bulbs? Yes or no, Caden? And Caden's about to answer when witness number 2 walks into the room and said, why is it so bright in here? Witness number 3, dude, it's like a hospital. What is going on? Like, I hate you all. Eat your stupid chicken. Speaking of chicken, how many have pets? Who has pets? Pets, what do you have? Cat. Thank you. Cat people. What do you have? Dogs. You have dogs. Dogs, cats, chickens, goats, all the things. That's awesome. Any more dogs? Where are my dog people out? You know that animals take on the personality of their owner? You ever heard that? Yeah. Some of you got a dog to help you with your anxiety. And you two are quite a pair. How's it going for you? Sitting on the couch. What was that? What was that, Margaret? What was that? Spot. It's just the microwave popping the popcorn. It's going to be okay. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It's getting louder. Hold me. I don't want to die alone. You're now easing the anxiety of the dog that was supposed to be your mental health help, right? Yeah, we didn't get a dog. We have one cat because we wanted a low maintenance, self-righteous, feline Pharisee to judge us all day long. I took in this cat off the street and gave it a life. I thought it was going to just trot around thanking me profusely for giving it food, shelter, and love. But it spent 8 years with me, and now it thinks it runs the place. Now she thinks she's the owner of this house. And so people bring their dog over. A dog will be like, hey, I heard my human say we're going to have a play. The heck we are going to have a play date. I will scratch your eyeballs out. You can't get within 20 yards of our house. That thing, she's going to run everybody off. She runs the place. She also thinks that those are her kids and not mine. And so at night, I put all my kids to bed, and she starts looking for them. Like, whining, middle of the night. I don't know if your cats do this. Where are my kids? I'm like, shut up. Kate and Kenzie, where are you? They're in bed, you idiot. Just like 365 days a year, I put them to bed. Pixie, Samuel, where are you? I'm like, I am going to turn you into a bath rug if you don't shut your mouth. Okay, I'll be quiet. Hey, who left their cup on the counter? I told you kids, don't leave your cup on the counter. Sugar, what are you doing down here? What are you doing? You're so loud. It's going out. You're going outside. No, don't put me outside. You're going outside. Just let me sleep with you, please. I'll be good. Fine. Let's go to bed. I just need to take a bath real quick. Pets, they're frustrating, right? I turned 40 this year, guys. I turned 40. It's crazy. Facebook today, everybody thinks I just turned 40 today because somebody commented on a post from 4 years ago. I did not turn 40 today. I turned 40 in March. But anyway, I turned 40 and I thought I would know more stuff by now. There's a lot of stuff I still don't know by now, and I thought I would for sure have down, especially like after 40 of them, I still don't know where to look when people sing happy birthday. I still don't know, and that's stupid, because when I sing happy birthday to a person, I'm never judging where they're looking. I'm never like, do you see where they were looking when we were singing happy birthday? Never once do I think that. But I don't know where to look. I don't know what to say when people knock on the bathroom stall, which is stupid because you could literally say anything and it would accomplish the goal, right? All they need to know is there or is there not a human in this box? That's it. So any sign of life is fine. Even a fart would do. Anything. Anything, but I still don't know what to say. They knock on the door. I'm like, come in. Never mind. I don't know how long chicken stays good in the fridge. I'm always afraid I'm giving my kids salmonella poisoning. I don't know how long, and I don't know anything about history. I'm supposed to be smart, but I don't know, and history's important, right? They say if you don't know history, that you're at risk of repeating it. And so I'm really worried I'm going to accidentally end up in a war. And I'm like, 1 minute I'm a suburban housewife, and the next minute I'm charging a hill with the rifle. And they're like, what is she doing? She didn't read her textbook. She doesn't know. She doesn't know history. Wouldn't it be nice if you could just go to, people with plastic surgery, they can move fat around. What if you could just move brain around to get the right stuff in the right place? Do you ever feel like you remember things you want to forget and you forget things you want to remember? Am I the only one? I could tell you the chorus from every boy band song in 1999. I cannot tell you why I went upstairs. I have no idea why I'm up there. I'm like, oh. Okay, brain, what we doing up here? I want it that way. Tell me why. No, not tell me why. Tell me why we're up here, brain. I'm sorry. We only have enough storage for boy band lyrics. All other information has been destroyed. No, brain, no. Can we at least bring back my kids' birth dates so you can stop embarrassing me at the pharmacy? Can we please move those closer to the front? Please, I'm begging you. I need to start rehearsing before I go there, right? I go to the pharmacy, and it's the same thing every time. Patient's name, Maverick Ross. Date of birth, give me a second. I think it was winter. It was winter, right? I promise I was there. Ma'am, can you give me a clue? Just a season or something. I know it's on your computer. You tell me his birthday, and I'll say yes. And then I worry that they're back there having a conversation off of the speaker hey, we got a code red. This lady doesn't know her kids' birthdays. And they're like, oh, yep, she's not the mom. That's a thief. She's trying to take somebody's medication. We have a thief on our hands. It's probably a teenager. That's all for me. Have a great night. Love you guys.
Thank you so much, Pastor Mindy. Mindy, did you know that I thought I was gluten-free at one point? I did. I was having a lot of like stomach issues, a lot of heartburn, a lot of other stuff. And I looked at Macy, my wife, and I was like, Mace, I think I might be gluten-free. She goes, really? It might be you're eating Taco Bell at 3 a.m. That might have something to do with it. That might be the issue. Folks, have you had a good night so far? Man, thank you guys for coming out and for being a part of our first ever comedy night. Would you guys come back? Question? Yes, no? Yeah. Come back. Did you get all of your food and was it accurate to what you ordered? A lot less yes on that. Okay. Good to know. I'll take that into consideration. But no, we really hope you guys had a good time, that you guys got to laugh, that you guys got to fellowship a little bit, you guys got to hang out. That's really what this is for. And many of you guys probably know this, but in case you guys don't, all of this is for raising funds for Impact Summer Camp coming up this July. We have, listen to this, we have almost 85 people from Impact City Church going to Impact Summer Camp, which is the most we've ever had in the years of our church. So we're very excited, but what that means is that it takes a lot of funds to help people get there. So that's what tonight is all about. You guys paid $15 for a ticket that covered your guys' meal and show. A lot of the portion of that went to buying all the food that we brought here to cook, and some of that went to the students as well. But we're asking for you guys to tip your waiters, to tip your cooks, to tip your hosts, to tip your comedians, maybe not Tim, but to tip everybody. And come on, tip those babysitters. If you have a kid back there, man, they're the real heroes of tonight. They have to watch your kids. I mean, come on, man. Give it up for them, right? They're killing it back there. If they got to eat pizza and watch a movie, though, so that's pretty good. But no, we just want to give you guys another opportunity to maybe go a little bit above and beyond just the ticket sale price of the night. So on your table, you should have a QR code sitting on your table somewhere, or if you don't have it on your table, you can scan this QR code here. Tip your waiters, tip your hosts, your cooks, all of that, and we would greatly appreciate it. And 100% of those funds go straight towards the students. So that doesn't go at all to the food. That goes straight towards them, and we'll make sure that they get that money and that we'll be able to send those kids to Impact Summer Camp coming up this July. And again, just thank you all so much for the support that you guys have shown us over these past few months. We've had many different fundraiser opportunities. This is the end of our fundraising season. We're tallying up everything. We're giving it to the kids so parents will know what their final balance is. So this is the last one of the season, but I promise you, we have a fall conference that we may do something for, but we'll absolutely be doing more stuff like this next summer as well. But I just wanted to give a few quick shout outs to everybody who made tonight possible. Can we give it up for all of our cooks in the back? Killing it, man. Killing it. How about your guys' hosts? You guys were set by many great youth, and you guys got your drinks. No spit in your drinks as well, as far as I know, unless you are the parent of one of those students, and I can't promise you what went into those drinks. But come on, can we give it up for our amazing waiters and everybody who serve you guys food? So many leaders. I want to thank Kim Blanton. She's the one who's really watching all the kids back there to make sure they don't die, right? Give it up for Kim. Jason Laporte, the Tops, were back there supervising the food. Macy was out here hosting, and Troy was on the making all of this possible with the sound and everything like that. So thankful for them. And come on, can you give it up for your comedians tonight, man? Weren't they amazing? So good, man. And a special shout out to my wife, because many people don't know, this was all her idea. She came up with comedy night. She came up with the meals, man. She did all this and made it all possible. So incredibly thankful. And again, thank you guys for your support. If you guys want to stick around and hang out, please do. If you guys didn't get a food option, let me know, and I'll make sure you guys get that food that you guys order. But if you guys want to stay around, hang out, cool. If you got to go home, no worries at all. But again, thank you so much for your support, and we'll hopefully I'll see you here Sunday at 9:30 and 11 in Mataskala and 10 a.m. in Granville. Thank you guys.